What's up, YouTube? AirborneErnesto here with another Is It Worth It? Today is going to be on a segment for Factorio. Kind of get into the details here quick. It is $20 on Steam right now. You can get the $7 soundtrack expansion if you wanted to do that. At the time of this video, it has a 99% overwhelmingly positive review with just about 3,000 purchasers, me being one of them. I have not rated them yet. With my new key rating group, it'll be Airborne GG on the Steam community. If you want to check out the review there, you can get the information there. So we'll just go ahead and move right into the gameplay here. So here will be the main title screen. There is no music, any ambient noise, anything like that going on at the beginning. I didn't mess around. I've put a couple hours into this game, so I kind of understand the basics. Looks like this is still in early access, so they will be expanding. They also have a whole spot dedicated to mods, so I don't have a problem with that at all. I'm actually looking forward to see what happens there. In the options, they do have pretty good customizable stuff for the options here. You do have your defaults, just normal, low, and extra low graphics quality. You can choose your memory usage as well. So in reality, I mean, it's all kind of preset, but I don't think that's a huge deal, especially on one of these top-down, old-style type of games. So I'm not going to, be upset about that by any means. So as far as controls go, it's pretty self-explanatory by this view here. And once you kind of get the hang of it, it's not bad at all. I haven't gone into the editor too much, so haven't ventured into that too far. Sounds, you can change all of the effects. There isn't really any music sounds. I don't know if that's something that you have to have with the soundtrack or not, but I haven't found anything with that. As far as the map editor goes, you can create a whole new map and edit from there. You can load a map that you've already been playing or one that's prefabricated here. But we'll get into the play. So what's awesome about this is you can start the campaign where they have a few different options here for where you start. Haven't got into too many of those. I did the first steps, and that kind of tells you what to do. There isn't much of a tutorial in this game. Otherwise, you can go to new game and you will automatically go into randomly generated world, unless of course you use the seed, and you can choose what level of normalcy that items do generate on the map, which is kind of cool. So you can kind of baby yourself and throw a bunch of iron on there, for example, because that is just one of the most important elements in this game. So you can do a custom scenario. You can even create your own custom scenarios. If you do start a multiplayer game, you can create a new game just like you would in a campaign or new game sandbox. You can even load a game that you already have. So that could be an autosave. You can also connect to your friend's game. So I'm actually just going to go into one of my map editor modes and show you something that you can just kind of set up, and then we'll go from square one. Like that, you can choose the latency and your autosave interval and all that good stuff. You can even use peer-to-peer communication if you're not into hosting like a big, LAN or not a LAN thing rather, but something over the internet. So load screens are obviously not very long. So this is just kind of something I set up. This was in kind of sandbox mode, so I don't have a character. So if you are frightened by that, don't worry about it. Normally you will have a character. I just wanted to do this to set something up so you can see what the point of the game kind of is. So over here, I have an automated system that runs off of electricity from these steam-powered engines running in a line, pulling water from here. That coal will create something. Well, I used a line that uses inserters to put stuff into a boiler. So the whole point of this game is pretty much just to get lazy and figure out how you can automate everything. So as you can see, I've been doing pretty well at that so far. Over here, mines iron, takes the iron and smelts the iron, and then these smelt those iron particles into steel blocks, which then come into these chests where I can pick them up. Now from here, you can obviously go into assembly, areas, and they can further assemble stuff. So you can pretty much use up the whole map just making, splitters. that make different things. As far as the enemies go in the game, they are kind of these StarCraft looking things. They're called biters. Once we do get into the character area, you can have weapons and armor and actually go fight these things. End game, I don't think there's like any point to them. I think they just kind of annoy the piss out of you. They will attack you unless, of course, you have it on enemies do not attack first, which will be a prerequisite button in the menus when you start your game. So that's always an option. If you want to be safe until you get, pretty good at defense, you can always check mark that. Now to go into the regular new game, we're going to go ahead and do that. We're just going to leave everything kind of regular here. I don't mind that at all. We are going to do enemies never attack first. Just for the sake of the video, I don't want to get completely obliterated while making something. So we're going to go with the random. I usually use like a birthday or something, just something I can remember. If I do like a map, write it down or something like that. But we're just going to go ahead and generate from this point. So this is about the biggest tutorial that you'll have. It's just going to tell you what each component does. And it doesn't really go any farther than that. Not very informative. Well, I mean, it's informative if you want to go through this, but there isn't really like a I guess, real tutorial where it says, now do this, which I'm actually okay with. Especially being this type of game, there'd just be more space to download, more things to have to go through. So I'm completely okay with looking through these little tips here. And there's obviously stuff I haven't even looked at in this, so probably should read it at some point, but I haven't yet. Now this is going to show you what your kind of end game thing is here. You just want to build a rocket silo and launch it with a satellite. Haven't gotten anywhere close to that far. Don't really understand it, so I guess maybe that isn't a good idea to be reviewing this, but at the same time I can review what I do know, and what I do know is definitely not bad. So that's kind of the first like about this game, is I love this kind of retro feel to the game. I am running this in 2560 by 1080. Obviously not even burdening the computer at all. Then again, I have a high-end PC, but it looks nice. It looks nice on an ultra-wide screen, and I really have nothing to complain about there. So the first thing you always do is make a pickaxe. That's going to allow you to mine. So essentially, you can actually skip using these burners. You can actually skip everything if you want to take the time to mine. But I would say coal is one of the most important elements in the game, along with iron, so we always start with a burner mine there. And you can directly put a smelter onto that if you were doing iron, for example, so it would feed directly into the smelter. Obviously, you're not going to smelt coal, so we won't be doing that. Another good thing to have around your map is trees. That's what's going to allow you to make chests and stuff like that, which we can't do at this point. But just to give you an idea, you would put the coal into here, and then it would drill for you. So like I was saying, the whole point of the game is kind of just to make yourself lazy and eventually, not have to do anything. Right now I don't have a chest or anything, so it'll only do one at a time and then drop it. But I mean, you can make strings of things and be able to take care of all of that stuff. So if we were to go back into the editor, you can see that, I mean, this is just endless. You can add, different things. Let's see here. For example, if I wanted to split a line, this is one way, you know, if you wanted to, oh, I want this to assemble this, I want this to assemble this, and just an endless thing. If you check out the trailer for the game, I mean, the whole point is just they fill every single little bit of the map, which is also endless, by the way. This map is completely endless and completely just randomly generated for as far as I can go. Right now it's not loading. It does take a while, but like I said, it just keeps generating and generating, which is awesome. So if you do get some multiplayer action, which is what I'm really looking into, none of my friends right now are into these type of games, so I am waiting for some of them to kind of warm up to the occasion so that I can get into a multiplayer area with this. So you'll see some huge hordes of enemies here, which they actually can be pretty detrimental to your mining facility. So all in all with Factorio, I would say for the price of $20, you know, I guess it's been a while in the making for this game. I guess if you'd really have to be kind of an advocate for this type of game, for this type of play style, to be able to be okay with this type of game at that price. Now, I don't have a problem with that price. I kind of like these type of games. I don't have a problem paying that premium price for an early access game, especially knowing where they want to go with it, and just kind of the development. There's an art style to it, and I cannot disagree with the price point for that. Especially, you know, they take pride in their soundtrack. Soundtrack worth $7. Not sure about that. Maybe a disconnect there, but that, like I said, that's something you'd be judging without knowing. Maybe the person who made that music is pricing that and not the actual game developers. I mean, there's been points where I just found myself lost for hours in this game, just wandering through the areas and trying to find stuff. And I come across hordes, and they would just completely obliterate me, which I was not prepared for at all. So yeah, overall, it is probably worth a buy, in my opinion, for this type of game, especially how long they've been making the game. I don't have a problem with that price point. Like I said, the people who are buying this game are loving it with a 99% overwhelmingly positive review. Not saying that you should always follow the reviews, but I think that in a multiplayer setting, this game would just be awesome. A bunch of buddies got together and kind of came up with something. Each maybe had their own little city, and if you needed something, maybe you could trade with belts and trains and stuff like that. So that'd be pretty cool to see. That's really it for now. If you guys have any other questions about the game, you can put it in the comments. I'll see if I can get to answering those questions. Maybe if there's a part of the game that you want me to go more into in depth and make a video about, you could definitely show that in the comments as well. If you have any other games that you want to see a review on, or maybe just ask if it's worth it, just let us know, and we can put together a game video just for that purpose as well. Be sure to check us out on Twitter. It's AirborneErnesto on Twitter. We also have a streaming channel. It's AirborneErnesto on twitch.tv/AirborneErnesto. And our gaming group that we just created where we curate games. It is an open public group that you can join. We choose a player of the week, give out free cards, discounted Steam games, and all of that good stuff. And that is in the Steam community. It is called Airborne GG. That's Airborne Gaming Group. So check us out on there. Make sure you leave a like and comments, and we will see you on the next video.